This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So last session we were discussing about, so how do we do some releases, right? So how do you do some, how do you, whenever the new version is actually coming up, and how do you release that? Okay, so that is a part we have seen. And but when you, okay, so when you're actually making a release, so what are the different things you consider basically? Okay, you're saying that you want to release it. Okay, so what are the different things from the code you generally look, saying that hey, this is good to go to the release? Okay, so that is a part which we are going to talk now. Okay, so let me go and say, okay, so over here, so what actually you're going to do is you kind of, so do the CI, and if CI is good, you are going to kind of do a release to at least the dev environment. And in the dev environment, if you say it is good, so then you're going to send it to prod environment, or probably some other environment you can have in prior to that. But actually, we are actually targeting only 2 environments in our session, so that's where this one. From the CI, if you say it is good, it goes to the dev environment. And from the dev, if you say it is good, then it goes to prod environment. Okay, so yeah, these are two things. What are the things you consider saying this is good? What are the considered things you say it is good? Okay, and what are the things you will be having in the CI in total, so to say that is good? Okay, so these are the things which we are going to talk a couple of sessions basically, like majorly CI side. So what are the major things which are going to happen? Okay, so let's see. um, let's see that particular one by one. Okay, okay, so generally on the CI side, okay, so when you talk about CI side, so what are the different components which are involved over here is, what are the different components which are involved over here is, um, so generally, so first you're going to pull the code anyhow. So after pulling the code, so what actually you say that you archive an artifact. So what are the general things which we'll do is, so we'll kind of run some unit test cases. Okay, unit test cases. Or before to that, even you compile the code and see if there are any errors basically. So compile, or you kind of so install dependencies, and you see whether it is a kind of so failing or something like that. Okay, that's the first thing you are going to do. All right, and after that, so what you need to do after that, what you need to do is once your code is fine, so then you have to check the code related quality. Okay, so you're going to check code related quality. All right, so you're going to check the code quality, whether the code actually having a good quality. Quality defines on certain factors. What are the factors which the code is designed on is, so what are the factors that that the code is um, what are the factors that code is designed? Okay, so we'll see that particular one from the tool anyhow. So you will look into the code quality, and if these things is also fine, so yeah, probably you can say that so your code is good. Okay, so also in some cases, basically what people do is they will go with some so your test cases basically. So they will run some test cases and say that so the code is good. So probably this is not available for our code. Actually, Dave actually he has not given that, so that's where I cannot go with this. But usually in general, so the test cases also will be there, and the test will be successful. Or test, if test is successful, we can say that test cases are successful, then they call it as it is fine. So or also in specific, you can call it also as unit test cases. Okay, so usually developer only will write these particular unit test cases because he's writing the code. He tests that particular unit whether it is working or not working. okay, by using this one. Okay, so let's go and see how do we do this particular one. All right, and the next thing is, okay, so let me just show you how these things works basically. Okay, so that's the and then we can ignore that particular unit test cases. So we can take some project from GitHub or somewhere, just have a look on test cases. Okay, so basically what we can search for is unit test example project GitHub. Okay, so you're getting some kind of examples. Yeah, so this is better. Now we can just clone this repository to somewhere. So probably I can just go into my workstation is fine. Okay, so the next thing here we are going to do here is yeah, so let's first clone that particular repo. What am I doing? Okay, so like this one is actually something like something like a did I clone the wrong one? Yeah, so this is some Node.js example. Okay, if you see here, and he's actually asking you to install the dependencies. So npm install. So of course npm command is not there. So sudo like let's say lab auto Node.js will be there. 6. Okay, so the next one is npm All right, cool. And the next one is npm test, I think. We just do that, so it just kind of testing the cases, and finally tells you the report saying that, so this is the cases. Okay, so that is how it is going to be. So my current project is actually on Golang. Okay, so here what do we do? Let me show you. So what actually we do here, let me bring a small screenshot rather than web page. And this is also in Azure DevOps. Okay, and you see this. So what actually we're trying to do is install Go if it is not there. So that's something. So we'll take care and run some make script. So to do some prerequisites to compile. Basically, we do that and copy the GoSec results. So basically, it's like a so security scan is going to perform basically, and so we kind of publish the test results somewhere and run some integration tests is happening and publish the code coverage, which is the code quality we're talking about. And so basically these two steps is to publish the Docker image basically, and that's all basically. So what is the quite important thing you have to understand here is so here publish the so it's kind of publishing the test results and they're running the integration tests and the code coverage. So these are the major things which you can say here. Okay, so these are the major things. And if some security scan and some security scan some security some security scan I mean, if you want to perform, so basically, so you today we call it as DevSecOps, right? So DevSecOps is something. Okay, so we generally do so in that particular cases. So these things, okay. So like this, you're going to generate something, and if any cases are a failure, so basically you kind of end up with errors, okay. And based on the errors, you will decide like what to do. All right. Okay, so okay, all right. And so the next thing which we are going to do here is okay, so we're not actually going to do some unit test cases because we don't have those cases, I think, written by the developer for none of these products or none of these components, so we cannot actually do that for now. So let it be, but assume that you'll be having some unit. If someone asks also, you can say that. Okay, so you will run the compilations, and after compilation, so what you do is you check the code quality. Okay, now how do you check the code quality? You're going to check the code quality by using SonarQube. Okay, there's a tool called as a SonarQube and any alternatives basically. SonarQube is one of the widely used tool, and you can kind of say the code quality. And in fact, actually, this guy should tell the report also. So Azure DevOps, mm, in the pipelines, in what are the pipelines you are using, like say shipping you're using, and you go inside the build, basically, okay, it's not there, but we can enable it somewhere. Test and coverage is something, get started. Not thinking this. Okay, not sure, but yeah, if you enable some components from the test plans, but I thought it is. Okay, here also I don't have. 1 second. Okay, there are no kind of code coverage. Okay. All right. So let it be that way. That's fine. Okay. I thought actually, but I've seen somewhere basically where you can have some code coverage report here also. But it is saying something gets started. All right. Let it be. Even in my project also, I don't see that. Okay. Fine. That's okay. So yeah. Anyhow, you can use a third-party tools like SonarQube, and you can deal with that. Okay. So how do you so how do you deal with SonarQube is just install SonarQube and tell this is your SonarQube URL, right? So here I will just say, is there any task which is related to SonarQube? SonarQube for MS build, SonarQube for, so MS build basically. It is telling deprecated, but what is MS build? It is actually taking only the MS build, Microsoft build, Microsoft code actually, it's not taking others. The Kubernetes endpoint and the project key, the project name. Okay, let's give a try of this, how it goes. First of all, it is asking you SonarQube endpoint, right? So to add this particular one, so what you have to do is you have to go with into the project settings. First, you have to enable a connector. So first of all, you need to make your SonarQube up and running. Okay. So let me go and launch an instance. And go to the community MI and you say DevOps -practice. And you go for some T3 medium at least, otherwise it will not work. Configure instance details and you go with the request spot, and where is a costless cost is actually available in 1B. I'll choose the availability zone on 1B. SonarQube installation is also quite simple. You just download the zip file and you run it. So I kind of made a script to make it a little bit standardized. Okay, so and SonarQube over here is 35. So first one is fine, SSL is not needed. Seriously, started Nexus service. I chosen SonarQube. Something wrong there. Okay, interesting. So why in SonarQube is a Nexus script?
You have selected 25 instead of 35.
Oh, yeah, then I might be sleeping. Thank you very much. Okay, let me launch one more instance. $35. Nice. RMI/TMP. Start. So it's running, but it just takes some time to come up. So 9,000 port should come up. If 9,000 port comes up, then the service is running. Okay, cool. So now I can just go and take this server colon 9,000. So admin, I think, yeah. So it's asking to change the password. Admin and then admin 123. Okay, all right, and I want to register this particular one inside my here, and you go to the service connections. Where is this service connections? So we already did to somewhere actually. Okay, so we already did to something. That's okay. And now let me go and give new service connection, and you search for Sonar. Seriously, then how come it was giving a service connection there? Sonar Cube is not there. Anyhow, that's also a deprecated one here. It's telling it's deprecated. And Sonar Cube endpoint, so definitely this endpoint will not work. Okay, the Sonar Cube server generic endpoint. Okay, I think generic is there, so I can go for a generic. Server URL. Server URL is this. Username, which is admin 123, and it's actually going to be a Sonar Cube. Okay. So we need a project key, and how do you get a project key is basically you go here and say on the top you press plus button and you click on add manually, and the project key you say that it is so it is a payment. Okay, and the setup, so your project payment is set up. Okay, and what it is asking is a token or a key. Okay, just this one, so which is going to be is a payment, is going to be is a payment. And what is this 1.0 Sonar Cube project version? All right, that's okay, and I think it's not needed. Also fail the build on quality guide failure. This is the important one. Just click on add. Okay, let's see how it goes. Just click on save. So it usually kick off the pipeline since there is a change. Sonar Cube pre-build is a failure, telling that the current operating system is not capable of running this task. This typically means has written only for Windows. Okay. So then we need to find it out. So how can we run the without without this kind of stage? So what is the alternate way of running it? Okay, so there is something called as sonar scanner. Okay, sonar scanner. Okay, so sonar cube sonar scanner, just go there and you need to set it up. Okay, and in order to set it up, basically you should install it. So that's where Linux 64-bit you can choose. It's actually downloading this, but actually you are using Azure pipelines. Okay, so that means the runner is actually from Azure and you need to find a way to install it. Okay, so that's where I would say here in this one, so copy link address, or I can kind of run some kind of a shell script, so which can take care of this as well. Okay. Okay, anything is fine. So I will just go and go back here, payment, edit. Okay, first of all, I want to even so run and check this. So this is actually running in a Ubuntu machine, right? Ubuntu latest. So I just want to go with quickly. I want to take an Ubuntu instance and I want to play with that. So just select and just go with T2 Micro, add storage, and the name is Ubuntu and security group. SSH this one, but the username is Ubuntu. Okay, so now here I just want to check it out how this SonarCube scan will work here. and copy link address. Just you call -o and you do this, and then unzip the file, and you see this unzip command is not there. apt-get update. It's actually sudo apt-get update. So just, it's like a yum command. It's like updating the repos. Sudo yum okay. I can use this zip file rather than just avoiding these versions, numbers, and all these things. What to yeah, so all I need is this sonar scanner command to be placed inside my system. Okay, so I will just give ln, so like let's say if I move this sonar to /opt or somewhere, so sudo if I give, so ln-s of /opt/sonar/bin/sonar-scanner and sudo and just put it to /bin somewhere. Okay, and you can go and you run it as a sonar scanner. Okay, so this is what I would like to so this is what I would like to do it. All right, and to do is I need this particular sonar.zip file somewhere. Probably I can keep it somewhere, so cd/ here sonar.zip file. So I want to keep it somewhere, but where to keep it? So because this is a big size file, sonar.zip file, 41 MB. If it is 41 MB, the Git repositories might not allow this particular file. So I have to take some help of some S3 or somewhere. You can keep it or directly use that. That's okay. But the only thing is you just need to bother about this renaming these versions basically. That's what I'm just thinking. Okay. Why to make it complex? All right, anyhow, like let's say rm-sonar.zip file. So just let's download this only. But a simple script I want to run it. github.com/tools. Get a new file. Download this and unzip the file which is in this one, and unzip this file And what is the directory you're going to get after unzipping? So you're going to move this one and rm-rf sonar and embed this to sonar and ln-s of ln-s of slash opt slash sonar slash bin slash sonar hyphen scanner. Okay, take this much and you try to run it. Okay, so this is what it is going to do, but let's try to put it here and see how it goes. This one, rather than this, I will say do this by sudo bash. Okay, so you just run this much. Okay, okay, so I think so it's kind of what you're doing. Make artifacts ready is fine. Download artifact, something is there. All right, so here I just go here, payment, if something is happening. Not download artifact, set up sonar scanner. Okay, so once you set it up, so then what you have to do is here, so what you have to do here is you kind of run sonar scan. Okay, run the sonar scan. So how do you run the sonar scan? So you run the sonar scan by using the command line, whatever is given here. There is something called a sonar scanner for Azure DevOps. What is this? Support for .NET and also for .NET only. No. Yeah, so I think it's not directly given some example, but let's give a try. Sonar scanner. sonar scanner, and you're going to give sonar host URL. So which is going to be this. And it kind of needs some username password. So how do I get the username and password? So some examples, sonar.login, which you can use some token. Okay, the token is the one which you're trying to generate here. So the payment, some kind of token, you got it. Okay, so then it actually going to be is token, right? So this one, the token is this. Okay, and after that sonar token, or -c sonar priority key. Priority key is equal to, like, this is a payment, so you need to give payment. What else? Not sure. So let's give this much and see. So run sonar scan. So it is probably expecting what? Unable to execute sonar analysis. Fail to bootstrap on server. Fail to connect to localhost 9000. Why so? Okay, what is this actually? I should be having this information somewhere. Let me just quickly take a look somewhere else. Sonar sources. Okay, I got the options. So the token, so take this token, you kind of use some variables, but I want to hard code it, that's okay. And the sonar server, so the sonar server is this one. Component name, so which is payment here, and sonar scanner, directly give the command, and sonar sources, this is the only one we missed it. Okay, source you have to give, where is the code? That information I missed it. Otherwise rest of the things is fine. So just click on save and go to the pipelines. Let's run it. So something is happening now. Okay, cool. So now if I go to the Sonar Cube, okay, you can see this. The quality report came into picture here, and it is saying that the quality is actually passed. Okay, so it is saying that there are 0 bugs, 0 vulnerabilities, and so there is a 2 code smell. So that means you can write a better logic or something like that. So code smell, it's like a smell in the sense like a good food, good smell, bad food, bad smell, right? So the code is 2 bad smells. Like the rest of the things is okay, and it is telling, so 4 security hotspots are there, so which can cause some kind of security issues, but those are not major sins. Okay, so some sensitive information you can deal it with in a better way, it is telling. Okay, so this is how you get the report. Okay, so for every service you can just kind of put the report here. Okay, so now let me go and so put it this to every service out there. So I just go here, pipelines, and you kind of done with payment, right? The YAML. So we kind of deal with front end also, the same thing. Front end is also a code, so we would like to go with that. The front end shipping. So I think the front end also went fine. So that means you, but the problem. Actually, the front end, you have to edit and say that it is front end. Okay, otherwise the report will be mismatched. This is, I forget about this. Front end you have to say. All right, so now the same way goes to cart as well. Edit it and say this is cart. Okay, so pipelines and the user, go there and say it is user, and shipping, say this is So anyhow, the front end is done. So we can just go here and take a look the Sonar Cube. Now you will see front end also. Okay, like every component, you can see that it is passed. Okay, almost the code side there is no much issue. So that's where okay, he's okay, putting us basically is passed basically. Okay, so other services also coming up. Probably even though that is a failed also, like let's say like if you want to kind of so fail something, we can fail also. Let's do that. So there is one problem actually which is involved over here, so which is an operational challenge. One operational challenge which it is going to be is, if I say it is a failure, compilation of the code taking time, yeah. Go to the pipeline. So like let's say catalog you take, and if I go to here, the catalog, okay. So now it is saying that so the code actually 2 hotspots, 0% duplications also on 130 lines. I don't have much issues. Once Java comes, you'll see the much errors, but Java will take longer time. Okay, there are 20 bugs here. Let's go with front end. So there are 20 bugs. Okay, and 23 code smells also is there. All right. Now I want to kind of so fail if there is if I want to kind of fail if there is a code smell which is more than 20. I want to take a condition. So now it is 23, still it is passing, but I want to say that hey, I want to do that if the code smell is actually going beyond 20. Okay, so what actually it is actually doing is a quality gate, right? On the top you have quality gates, which is a default quality gate. Sonar way default quality gate. So I'll go and say that create my quality gate. So this is some kind of a testing I'm doing it, and so this you're going to say add condition. And also one more thing, so the devs is kind of mostly set up this particular code qualities. Okay, I mean code quality conditions and all, so they will take care of, mostly will not get a chance, but is given a chance, so this is simple options also, you can check it out. And you can say that so code coverage, coverage on overall code. Okay, so if it is coverage quality gate fail if it is less than, not less than, basically it should quality if it is talking about front end code smell, not coverage. So code smell, if it is greater than, like let's say 20, so then on the overall code add a condition, then mark it as a failure. Okay, so now I have to go to my project, I have to go to my front end and say that so project settings, so quality gate, you go there. Okay, so choose a separate one, so which is a test one, click on save. Okay, and now you go and apply the front end once again. Okay, so pipeline, and you go for front end and you run pipeline. So the problem with the Sonar scan is it just push for the scan, that's it. It doesn't bother about the status. Okay, Sonar scanner, it doesn't bother about the status. Okay, if it is a failure. Okay, this one doesn't bother about the status of that one. So that's a major problem actually you have here. So now we kind of pushed it. So go to the quality gate, or you go here and you see that front end is failed because a condition whichever I mentioned now is actually going beyond 20. It's 23. It actually is a failure. Okay. Now fine, but actually my pipeline is still successful. That's a problem. Okay, we need to handle that. And that's where even the plugin which is provided by Azure DevOps also, there is two plugins on the SonarQube. One is so start analysis and so kind of end analysis. So end analysis, basically we need to check it out whether it is really the quality gate is successful or not. Okay, but how do you get that information? So here you're going to get one kind of a ID, a submission ID. So you see this, the task ID is equal to, you get one ID, and this is the ID which is needed to pull the information. Basically, if I have an ID, how do I pull its information, and how do I pull it whether it is successful or failure? Okay, so how do I do that? Let's go and find it out. How do we do it? Right, so quality, so quality gate SonarQube status call command. So access quality gate status from the SonarQube API. Yeah, analyze ID is equal to this one. Call, and you go and give this. Is equal to analyze ID is equal to what is the ID? So kind of you need some username and password, -u admin :admin 123. Yeah, so I think it is telling either analyze analysis ID. Yeah, I gave analysis ID, and the project ID or project key must be provided. Okay, so comma project ID project key is equal to front end. Is it comma? I don't know, and might be ampersand or question mark or end something. Okay, you got the status. The status is error. Okay, so the status is error you're getting. I don't know, error means correct. Yeah, could be. So for an example, if we go with the other one, let's go to the pipelines and say that it is, let's go with the payment. You go there and you go here and sonar scan. And what is the analysis ID? This is the analysis ID here. Now this is also an error. That's a generic error message. Payment. Yeah, you're getting okay. In the case of the payment and with that ID, you're getting okay. Okay, all need to do is I just need to go with JQ. So you're getting it. So all I need to do is so that dot status. Okay, so JQ pipe. Okay, so all I need to do is just get this. Now in the previous scenario, so while we used for front end, you just do this and you get error. If it is okay, proceed. If it is error, don't proceed. Okay. So I kind of make some shell script, small shell script for this. And how do I make some small shell script is just to make it life easy. So what I can do is here is I will just say I will go to Sonar Scanner and I will kind of add a new file, and I will say that so sonar hyphen quality hyphen gate.sh. Okay, so you put this now /bin/bash. Now username is equal to $1. Okay, so password is equal to $2. Okay, replace this one with $1 and $2, $1 and $2, and the host IP so is something like this. So host IP is something like this, and host IP is equal to $3. Host IP is equal to $3, and here ID $ID is equal to $4, and so key is equal to $5. 5 arguments I'm expecting, and I'm looking for the status. Okay, so okay, all right, and 5x I will say. Now if, and I'm going to go for and say that so
Quick question.
yeah.
In the username and password, you kept $1 and $2. In the host IP, you just mentioned as host IP. Is it $2 or is it host IP? Anything?
I need to pass all these parameters in order to make this script working, right?
Yeah, understood the parameters. Instead of username, $1, $2, you could have put the username.
Okay. Right. You're right. Okay, I directly used your saying. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, then exit 0, else exit 1. So all we catch is the script is successful or failure. That's it. Okay, so commit this new file and qualitygate.sh. You just take this as a part of our Sonar scanner script. Okay, so I will also say not raw. Edit this, and I will say call -s, give this URL, and it's gonna be /bin/ sonar qualitygate.sh. All right. So this much the changes I want to keep it, and the next thing which I want to do is so here the pipelines, go to the front end, go to edit, and say that so just after this command, so probably what you can do is you can just go and give and also you kind of provide the chmod plus x. Provide this. Okay, so the next time you set up the sonar, you get that. So now you're going to use this. So sonar qualitygate.sh. $1 is username, so which is admin123 is the password. The IP address of the machine is something like this. Something like this. And the fourth one is nothing but the component name. is it the component name? Let's take a look. ID and then this one. Okay, ID, how do I get it? Okay, so that's also quite important now. All right, so how do I get the ID is the above command actually is going to give the ID. So pipe, I'm going to give a T and an output to /tmp/sonar.out. Okay, so something like that. And so here you're having the sonar.out, which is okay. And you go to the front end, you go to this, go this, and run sonar scan. So view raw log actually. So I would like to kind of download this. Put it under vi/tmp/1. Put all the content. Now I need to grab some that analysis ID here. Okay, so then so grep ID is equal to /tmp/1. Okay, you're getting two lines again. So basically, or in fact, actually, if I look for the exact word, and awk-f equal to, and you print $nf. Okay, so this is the ID. All right, so this is a one, and I'm going to say here you require an ID, and this is the ID. So that ID is /tmp/sonar.out file. Okay, and the last column which you are going to give is here it is a front end. I'm going to tell it is a front end. So instead of actually putting a variable and putting all this, actually I'm directly executing a command here. You can do that. So this command will get executed and that output will get replaced there. Okay, so let's see how it goes now. So now you're getting exit code 1. Okay, it's failing with exit code 1. Okay, now let's go to the quality gate and kind of, so change it to the old one. And let's see project settings, change the quality gate and go and say that, always use the default one here. So save this and you go and run the pipeline once again. So let's see what's going to happen. Now it has to be successful. Since the quality gate is passing, now it has to go with successful. Now it is successful. You see this? Because we changed the quality gate. The quality gate went to default, and the default there is no problem. Okay, so we are able to do that, right? So that's how so we have to decide whether the code is good or bad. So there will be so conditions out there, so based on the conditions you will usually need to go with that. Okay, so like so I work for a consulting firm, right? So basically, and so generally we do development, and while developing basically, so the client expects something. Okay, so what the client would be expecting is something. I'll show you a point basically. So let me bring a small screenshot. Okay, so they're usually first let me start this way. So I am actually working for a consulting firm, and I work for a client. So but client expects something in return from me, right? So how do they calculate basically, the higher level management basically? So forget about low level devs and other things, the technical people. So the high level business people, so they give the contracts usually, right? So and we are working on that. So what they usually look, so if you say that so there is a bug and we cannot fix it, they don't understand all this. Okay, so they look for some numbers. Okay, the number is in the in as per the agreement, and they're okay. And if it is not there is as per the agreement, so they kind of ask us why, and so some details go in there. Okay, but first basically everyone kind of look for something called as KPI. So KPI is basically nothing but key performance indicator basically. Okay, so just to we develop some product, and to measure it basically you require some kind of KPI. And so yeah, I'm also working for a client, and we have some kind of a KPI, some document like this. So now you see this basically certain DevOps side, what they're looking is 99.5% uptime basically. Okay, so yeah, and mean time recovery, MTTR basically, mean time to recover is, it should be less than 5 minutes. If something goes wrong also, so something should come up in 5 minutes. So that's the so level of agreement we're making. So when it comes to the like said, different DevOps things are there. And when it comes to the so dev side, so they usually kind of do the code quality. Okay, and so now the code coverage has to be 80% basically. So that means the code coverage, if you say 80%, so that means it covers all these so all these components basically, like so bugs, repetitive things, all security related things, all these things together they are going to call that. Okay, and bugs also, like so the contract, it is kind of something like P1 should be 0 when the code is released, P2 has to be less than 2, and P3 bugs has to be less than 7, and P1 P2 will be designed by the business level guys again. Okay, so that is how, so you generally will be having a code measuring is a kind of an important thing. Okay, so that developers has to ensure while they keep the code. Okay, so let's say you're a developer and you're inside in the same organization, so probably you can deviate certain things, right? So you can ignore and you can move on, okay, certain things. But when we generally work for contract based, so or consulting based, so then it has to be very strict, because we do develop and hand over it, right? So yeah, so that is the whole idea basically. Yeah, so whatever it is, you kind of took a code quality checks, all right, and and if it is all good, then only we'll proceed. Okay, so we have to design in such a way that. And the next thing is, we are going to have something called as lint checks. Okay, what is that linting? So probably we'll take a look tomorrow. So sometimes people also go with the linting, and so yeah, linting is also important. And what is that linting, and why do you need that? So probably we'll look into that in tomorrow's session. And that gives a whole CI pipeline. So if someone asks you also, so we do take the code and put the code analysis. And if code analysis is fine, we'll just do the lint checking, and lint checking is also fine. We'll just do some code security scans also, you can say, if you want some third-party tool, if you want to embed, or else you can use SonarQube, which is already telling that. And mostly, yeah, so you're done. You're going to archive the artifact if it is needed. Okay, and when we create the artifact, if the tag is only created, if all these are passed, then only we'll create a artifact, right? And if the artifact is released, it deploys into the dev environment, and in the dev environment after the deployment, what makes us to think to go with the production release. So what are the things we just need to consider? So yeah, so that particular part. So again, we'll talk about discuss basically, and mostly once we are done with all these things, we're done with mostly the server side, and we'll move on to the protection side. Okay, sorry, container side basically. Yeah, production, and then from once you are done with that, so then containers. That's the idea, and that's all from my side for today. Any questions? Okay, all right. Yes, we have a class tomorrow. We have class. All right. Yeah. So see you on tomorrow's session. Bye. Good day. Good night.